Alright, today was the first episode of She-Hulk, and here's my thoughts. So far, overall, just based on this first episode, I'm kind of enjoying this show. Though I do have one or two issues with it, which I'll come back to in a minute, but I'm going to start with what I liked. I found this episode pretty entertaining. It had a good setup. I like this idea of Bruce having a cousin who also becomes a Hulk, because now he has someone to be a partner or to pass the torch on to, which seems to be a recurring theme with Phase 4, this passing of the torch with the original Avengers. Like, in the Black Widow movie, it was passing on the title to Yelena. For the Hawkeye show, it was passing it on to Kate Bishop. So I like how it's continuing on that idea, and I'm curious to kind of see where that ends up happening in maybe, like, the next Avengers movie. And I also thought this show was kind of fun and a bit different. I like the occasional fourth wall break from Jennifer Walters, and I thought she worked very well off of Bruce. I thought she had a good dynamic with him. Like, they really do feel like they're family members, but I do have a few issues with some of the writing. But, first off, I've seen a lot of people complain that Jennifer's a bit unlikable, and I can kind of see that. I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I also see where the character is coming from. She didn't choose to become a Hulk. She had a stable career as a lawyer, and now that kind of is not taken away from her, but kind of puts her in a different direction. She's kind of uncertain about the future now. Like, her plan kind of changed, and I totally get why she is the way she is. It's the reluctant hero trope. And I didn't find her unlikable. I totally get where she's coming from. I totally understand her reasons for acting the way she is. But I'm thinking, by the end of the show, she's going to embrace the role of the superhero because that's character development. But I could be wrong. We'll see where it goes. Right now, I don't see it as she's unlikable. I just see it more as reluctant hero. Now, the biggest complaint I do have about this episode was some of the jokes, particularly the running joke about, well, I'm going to phrase it in a cleaner way than the show did, the love life status of Captain America. I found that pretty tasteless and cringy. And if it were two male superheroes mocking and shaming the love life, or in this case, the lack thereof, of a female superhero, we wouldn't be looking at it the same way. There would be backlash. There would. I didn't find it funny. I found it a cheap, tasteless, lowbrow attempt at humor. But I will say this, if we're going to compare this to the previous MCU show, if we're going to compare every MCU show to the previous one, I said Ms. Marvel was not as entertaining as Moon Knight, and I still say that. This one is at least better than Ms. Marvel. It has a lot more energy, and it certainly has better pacing. It took me forever to get into Ms. Marvel. It took me until the end of the show, and even then, I was just kind of barely into it. But right from the get-go from this episode, I'm kind of into it. I'm kind of into the show. I'm still curious as to where it's going to go. I was pretty entertained. There is still room for improvement. Like I said, hopefully some of the writing gets better. Hopefully maybe some of the way the characters are written get a little bit better. Hopefully the jokes get a little funnier, not as lowbrow. There is still some room for improvement, but overall, I'm still enjoying the show. So let me know what you thought about the first episode of She-Hulk, and I will see you next time.